And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Minding Your Business, the podcast, also the Amazon live show. So we want to welcome those tuning in on Amazon. Glad you all could join us for what's going to be a busy month of activity. And I'm excited to be a part of it as one of the on-camera hosts here on Amazon. Have some great deals going to be sharing with you guys throughout the month. Also, some great books as well as we're helping you with your summer reading. Also want to welcome those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and Instagram. Glad you all could be with us as well. Mr. Ellaby, hello to you. Good to be able to see you over on the IG side. This is our Minding Your Business podcast. It's based on my book that's here on Amazon, Minding Your Business, 12 Keys for Growing Your Business Online and Offline. If you can believe it, this is episode number 6 of our podcast. And we're excited to be able to discuss with you guys key number 5. So key number 5, again, the book for you guys joining us on the Amazon side is available both in paperback as well as the Kindle edition. You guys can get the paperback there for only $9.99, or you can get the Kindle edition for $4.99. We have it highlighted in the carousel for you guys there. And again, for you guys joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, we have the link for Amazon with this broadcast. Also, of course, for those of you tuning in on the IG side, we'll be putting it in the comment section for you guys as well. So again, glad you all could be with us. Have any questions or comments for our broadcast today? Make sure you guys do put those in the chat for us. I'll let you, Herschel, to be able to see you over on the IG side as well. So again, we're discussing in episode 6, we're discussing key number 5 from my book, Know Where to Show Up. And as you guys have been knowing, as we've been going throughout this first season of the Minding Your Business podcast, we've been talking to you guys about ways to be able to grow your business both online and offline. And we've been talking about the importance of knowing your audience, knowing, of course, who you are and what you want to share. This one is all about where you feel the most comfortable, which is an appropriate one since we're kind of simulcasting this broadcast across different platforms. This is what I write in key number 5, Know Where to Show Up. Showing up for the sake of this book will be used in 2 different ways, but the most important of those will be covered in this chapter. Once you have clearly identified what it is that you want and who you serve, you have to know where to connect with them. This is true both online and offline. When I began the Conversations brand in 2003, the internet was not a big part of my strategy or focus. I was doing in-person events as well as blogging. I was networking as well as looking for unique opportunities to share what I was doing with others. Today, the internet is a huge driver of my success and visibility. However, I am still showing up offline too. It's important for me to connect with new people and help with the word of mouth component of brand building. Ask yourself, where do I feel the most comfortable showing up? Am I good at attending in-person opportunities? Or is it the internet and social media easier for me? The important thing, again, is that you're being true to yourself and realize what might work the best. The other thing is to consider that you make sure that you are showing up is the same place as the audience that you hope to connect with and serve. It would be counterintuitive to use your precious time in areas that may seem to give you visibility, but don't allow you to impact the individuals you want to reach. Again, this takes self-reflection and research, but when used correctly, it can open some influential doors. And so, hey, man, it's well good to be able to see you over on the Facebook side. So again, the point of this particular key or episode of the Minding Your Business podcast is knowing where to show up. Now, this is going to be different for everyone. As I talk about in this chapter, when I began my business in 2003, the world was totally different, right? We didn't have the opportunities that are available for us now. Again, I was a big blogger. I still blog to this day. My magazine is available for free on a Blogger site that's owned by Google, Blogger. So I'm still using those platforms, right? But social media is also a big driver for us as well. Hey, Dr. Todd, it's good to be able to see you. Thanks again for that picture with the magazine. I appreciate you sharing that. But social media is a big part of my component for my business today. So as you notice, though, over the weekend, I was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Well, why did I travel to Philadelphia? Well, it was an in-person event that was all about the very components of my business, connecting the media with content creators, entertainment industry professionals. So it made sense for Conversations Media Group, my company, to be represented there in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for the kickoff of this new series called Be in the Biz. So again, I'm able to use both components, right? You guys are seeing me on social media or through Amazon currently, but you may also see me attending in-person events. I have a lot of those this year. So you'll see me both online and offline. So what's the point? I have learned from my business model, the important thing is to show up in both places, which is why I call the book Minding Your Business, Being Able to Build Your Business Online and Offline, because for me, it's not an either or, it's all about the end. Now, that's true for my business, from my business model. So what you have to ask yourself is this: is social media the only place I need to be? Or can I be able to mix the two? Are there offline opportunities that may be there for me that maybe I'm not thinking about when it comes to my business or brand? Or are there things that I can be able to do that can help me to reach both audiences? Now, what was so funny, when I attended the event in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and this is something that was not expected, and I haven't even shared this story online. I was telling my mom about it today. I just so happened, if you believe in things just so happening, at the Be in the Biz conference in Philadelphia, they had a lunch for us, and they also had a mixer for us at the end of the evening. Where during the lunch, I was with my friend, someone I met through Mr. LRB, author Teresa Merritt Watson. We happened to sit at the same table. She was my guest for the event, and I told her to pick a table. It just so happened, again, if you believe in things just so happening, we sat at a table with a young lady, and I introduced myself as Cyrus, and she introduced herself as Clavon. We were sitting there talking, and I thought, she looks familiar. Now, again, I didn't know that she was going to be at the event. I didn't even know she was going to be sitting at this table that Miss Merritt Watson chose. Come to find out as we're talking, she gives me her business card. Her name is Clavon Harris. She's an author I interviewed years ago on the radio side of my business. So on the radio, it's just audio, right? So we've never seen each, have never been in the same place in person. So we were at the same event in person, had never been in person before. So we were able to share that moment over the weekend. Hello to you, Elite Status. Good to be able to see you. I appreciate you joining us on YouTube. Now, again, that just shows the benefit of being somewhere offline. Right, Todd. Is that not crazy? I mean, what are the odds that we have not talked since our interview, by the way. I should mention that. We were not staying connected on social. We had not talked since she was on Conversations Live, the radio show. I didn't know she was going to be at this event. She didn't know I was going to be there. I'm in Mississippi. So why would she think I was there in Philadelphia, right? And then the fact that Ms. Merritt Watson chose that table for us to sit at. And then for me to be able to take a picture, and I'll be posting the picture on social actually, with Clavon and myself as well. So again, that just really shows the importance of showing up offline as well. Because again, Clavon and I had met each other through the radio show, which was not because of technology. She calls in, she's connected with me. We're not talking to each other in person, but we literally got a chance to have an in-person conversation there in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania over the weekend. Got a chance to take some pictures together. I'll be posting those on social. And then, of course, to have that time, and she actually texted me today saying how great it was to connect again. But that just shows, again, the importance of showing up. And this hello to you. Good to be able to see you over on the Facebook side. And this says, hey, Cyrus, there is priceless value in being present. That is so true. And that is what I really took away from that, which is why I'm talking about this key today. So for those of you who are just coming in, welcome. You're watching the Minding Your Business podcast, or you're listening to us on your platform, your podcast platform. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. This is episode number 6. We're discussing key number 5 in my 12 keys book, Minding Your Business, know where to show up. So again, I talk about this a lot in my classes too. For a lot of you and myself, we use social media to be able to show up. And there's nothing wrong with that. I use it 7 days a week, right? Anyone who follows me knows that. But can we add some type of offline component? Is there something going on with the local business you can tie your own business or brand or initiative with, right? I've been able to do that with Subway in my state. I have several Subways that we do what we call breakfast with books. I have Dunkin' Donuts we've been able to partner with that are locally owned, independently owned, and we have breakfast with books there. So we have different things I'm able to do with in-person events that connects me with other individuals outside of my social media circle that I'm able to connect with online, because believe it or not everyone is on social media. And even if they have an account, they're not on social media. So I tell people all the time, there's a difference between being on social media and using social media. A lot of these people have accounts that they're not on, as you probably know that. And I have to be honest, as a side note, going back to the Be in the Biz conference in Philadelphia this past weekend, I was surprised at a conference like that how many people did not have social media handles. I was really surprised by that. And I would introduce myself to people and say, hey, I'd love to follow you on social. Well, I'm not really active on social. I'm like, not on Facebook, not on Instagram. You don't have any. They're like, no, I'm not really active. So again, being in person was a great connection for me. But if I was only relying on social media, I still would not have made those connections with them. Now, two of them, we actually booked their appearance on my show. So it really, again, shows the importance of finding opportunities to connect with people, because you never know what can come out of that. Manswell says on Facebook, yep, I met 2 readers today, but aren't on social media, but know me in my book. So see, there you go. I mean, and that's the whole thing. So we have to be careful not to take for granted that everybody is on social media, right? Because even if they are on social, they may not have the habits of actually really using the platforms. So you have to ask yourself, are you missing out on opportunities? Can you find ways offline to connect with people that may be in your area? Notice what I said in this particular chapter. Again, this is the important thing. The other thing to consider is that you make sure you are showing up in the same place as the audience that you hope to connect with and serve. It will be counterintuitive to use your precious time in areas that may seem to give you visibility, aka high numbers or views, but don't allow you to impact the individuals you want to watch. Now, think about what that's saying. That's saying we can't just focus on how many views we get on something, because we may get views on something from someone who's not even a part of our audience that we're trying to connect with. So we may wonder, and you know what, in the influencer space that I'm in on the Amazon side, a lot of us have heard the stories of individuals who may have a lot of followers, but those followers don't actually convert into anything because they're not really the audience that people are trying to reach. So you have to be careful not to correlate your success with how many followers you have, right? I mean, on social media, I have about 23,000 followers between X, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads, right? But I know that those followers fall into different buckets. Not all of them are my customers. Some of them are what I call the audience, people who, are there to support me, congratulate me, may share information, but they may not actually be people who actually need what I have, and that's fine. But I understand that they're part of the tribe because they're there to offer their support. So you have to go into it knowing that it's not always going to be the numbers online that are going to translate into the help you need. You have to make sure that you're reaching the audience that you actually want for what you have. Alyssa says, I served as an MC and moderator of an event this weekend. I met several authors that I couldn't book for our Conversations with Chosen Fame podcast. And see, that's the thing. And that's why it's on no matter who you are. If you're an author, recording artist, there are things you have to keep in mind. So if you're not getting attention for what you're doing, you have to ask yourself, am I in the places to get that attention? Like Anissa says, if you're not somewhere that's connecting with people or have platforms to connect, it's going to be very hard for people to be able to book with you. And so that's why the connection is so important for all of us. So again, the big takeaway from this key is this. 1, make sure you identify who your audience is. That's the important part of this particular episode. And then where can you find them? Is it just online? Is it just offline? Can it be a hybrid? Now, I do the hybrid effect. So like this month, well, every month you see me doing online, but you also will see me doing offline. Great example. This month, I'll be going to New York. I'll be going to Vegas at the end of this month, right? I don't think I've actually officially announced that. But anyway, so you may be catching this before I officially announce I'm going to Vegas. But anyway, the point being, I'm doing a combination of online, like what you guys are seeing and hearing here with the podcast, but also actually in person, taking selfies or ussies with people, actually being able to spend time with people in the room, because that's been beneficial for building my business and my brand and the visibility that I want. So again, it's a very personal thing. You have to ask yourself, What's my comfort level? Am I only comfortable online? If so, that's fine. But are you then using the platforms to make sure you're reaching your audience? Or are you just grabbing numbers? And those aren't the same thing. So again, as I mentioned in this particular key, it takes some self-reflection. You have to be honest with yourself. Take some research. I talk about that all the time. But it can be something that you're able to do successfully for sure if you're willing to do the work. So I hope this is helpful for you as you are thinking about knowing where to show up when it comes to building your business and your brand, how to be able to connect with your audience, and discovering where that audience is. And remembering not everyone is going to be online. Just because we are on these platforms does not mean everyone is. So are you missing out on opportunities to be able to connect with people offline? But the other side of that is for those who are only doing things offline and aren't tapping into the power of social media, could you be really selling yourself short and not doing that and using those opportunities that are available for you? So again, this is key number 5 from my book, Minding Your Business, available right here on Amazon for those joining us on the Amazon side of our platform. Again, you can get the paperback or the Kindle edition of the book. Nowhere to Show Up is the episode title for this. That's what we were discussing today. If you missed any of the previous episodes of the podcast, whether you're joining us on Amazon Live or the other platforms, you can find them on Amazon. The link again is with this broadcast. Also, of course, as I mentioned, there's a link to be able to get my book on Amazon as well, except for you guys that are joining us on IG. I'll make sure that I loop it in our stories for sure. Hold a hello to you. Good to be able to see you over there on the IG side. So again, thank you guys for joining us for this episode of Minding Your Business. I'll be back with you guys next week as we're halfway through this season already, which is, again, this is the first show I've ever hosted, one solo, but also where I've actually had an ending. I've never had a show before that I've had seasons. With Conversations Live, the radio show, I go from January to December, so I never take a break. So this is the first show that literally only has X amount of episodes, 14 episodes for this particular season. So we're literally halfway through next week. So I'm excited for that, you guys to be able to join us. Again, continue to share your thoughts in the comment section. We'd love to know that. Thank you so much for that, Taz. Appreciate that. And I will see you guys next week for the next episode of Minding Your Business. Until then, you all take care. I will talk to you soon.